I want to begin, as many of my colleagues in the House have done today, by paying my respects to the advocate, storyteller and ultimately world changer in her own right that was Celia Lashlie. Many of her works actually sit on my bedside table, not least because she was always one of those individuals who managed to so carefully put stories where previously only statistics existed. She reminded us that behind every grim headline and every known story was in and of itself a very grim story, one that was within our power to change.
Celia did a lot of social and justice sectors. She worked for the probation services, she worked in corrections for many years, but she was a woman who was not afraid to say the things that needed to be said. And sometimes we didn't like to hear it, but actually she was fearless in standing up for New Zealanders who couldn't speak for themselves and for some of the New Zealanders who are at most risk in our communities. So we wish her well. We know she's gone upwards and has gone to a far better place and will be looking down on us. She didn't have much time for politicians, but we know that she will be looking down and listening to us.
I'd like to share the condolences of other members for Celia Lashlie. I'd like to acknowledge her passing, send her love to her friends and whānau. I think it's quite clear she's someone who made our country a better place. And I think if that's the least you can say about anyone, it's an amazing achievement she's had.
May I add my personal commiserations to the family of Celia Lashlie. I have fond memories of working with her as a high school teacher at Rotorua Boys High for an extended period of time as she was developing her book, and this is indeed sad news. So I do wish to send on behalf of New Zealand First our condolences to her family, sir.
Her loss is a loss to our nation, and I'm really pleased tonight that so many people have acknowledged her.
Let me please join the chorus of sincere condolences to the passing of Celia Lashlie. I think as an incredibly strong woman, she challenged perceived wisdom around how to deal with challenges of raising children, specifically young boys. I think no one could ever accuse Celia of being soft in her approach. If anything, she was very, very clear and tough on her expectations. Her passing is a sad loss for New Zealand and for her family, and I would like to pass my best wishes on to her family.
She was a woman that I hugely admired. She was passionate about what she did. She was utterly committed and dedicated. It was a way of life for her to do something to help the people who ended in our prison system or to keep people out of the prison system.
And today we have lost another one whose life was devoted to improving the lives of others. In this case, to improving at-risk children and empowering families to find their own solutions to the challenges they face. Mr. Speaker, Celia Lashlie is the first woman to work as a prison officer in a male prison in Aotearoa. She wrote, spoke about and lived her work. Her work within the New Zealand Prison Service helped her to understand, to unravel the complex issues needing attention within New Zealand's at-risk families. We really need to start with a woman. And Celia believed that we will see the changes that we have been seeking when these women come to know and believe that their decisions matter, that they hold the destiny of their children in their hands, and that they can overcome the impact of their own traumatic childhoods. So that's whānau ora at its very heart.
Her contribution to this country will not be forgotten, and certainly as the mother of two teenage sons, I really appreciated the contribution that she made to our discussion in this country about our boys who are indeed gorgeous, and providing some level of to parents who would sometimes, not me of course, Mr. Speaker, but some parents who might look at their teenage boys and wonder what on earth is going on in their minds. And Celia certainly was a voice of wisdom that could help us all to deal with those sorts of circumstances.
Celia obviously, I think, has helped expand our understanding of the world and how it functions, and also helped us understand and see the best that's possible in our boys and how to bring that out in them. It is a sad loss, and I know that there have been tributes to Celia Lashlie. Can I just briefly acknowledge her work, the work that she has put into community. I've
been part of some of those initiatives, particularly when she's in Nelson, and the work that she did, in particular with Nelson College. It was called the Good Men Project, working with young male students. I myself also did quite a bit of work with fathers and sons and the work there, and I know that the work that Celia had put through influenced a lot of that. When I met her, she came across as quite a tough cookie, took no prisoners in the work that she did, but really she's well respected for that. So, Mr. Speaker, so I just think that she's a great New Zealander, and I just want to take a moment just to acknowledge her contribution that she's made significantly to New Zealand as well.
Celia, thank you for your contribution, and we mourn your passing, and we sit with your whānau today as well.
She was an amazing woman. She's contributed a lot to New Zealand, Mr. Speaker, and I think that that is shown by the number of people today who have stood to acknowledge her.